Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Happiness Retreat. I am your host, Kimberly Treves, and we have the good fortune to be in conversation with my dear friend and colleague, the beautiful and multi-talented Kealin, who is a certified life, spiritual, and energetic coach serving people in major transitions. Hello, Kelly, and thank you so much for taking your time to share with us today.
Oh, thank you, Kim. I sure appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to having a chat with your audience.
And our audience is going to be excited to hear that there's something at the end of the show you will be sharing with us. What is that?
Absolutely. I have a free gift to offer you, and look forward to giving you the details on that.
Alrighty. So stick around, everyone. Okay. So, Kelly, as this conversation is all about spirituality and the soul and becoming the master of your own energy, I am so very happy you are here with us today to tell us how life, spiritual, and energy work is a vehicle for transformation. So, could you please start by giving us a little bit about your background, including your education?
Oh, sure. I'd be happy to. I am currently a recovering CPA and a project manager. I have a pretty extensive corporate background and came out of that and started coaching within a year or so of coming out of corporate because well, my friends honestly asked me to do so. I have certifications. I'm certified as a life, spiritual, and energetic coach, which you mentioned, and that is through the Toltec Center of Creative Intent. And I'm licensed, or rather certified, excuse me, in the law of attraction as well. And am current. I'm always working on a new certification to better my knowledge so that I can serve my clients better. So lots of corporate experience and some coaching experience to get me to this place where we are today.
Well, very diverse. So, tell me about what prompted you to make your switch. Well, what prompted you to become interested in energy healing?
Ooh, that's a little bit of an involved story. Let's see how quickly I can move through it. Um, it started back when I was 18, and I'm in college. I'm second semester in college, and blustery Friday night, and we're all kind of got our doors open, having basically a block party because nobody wanted to go out. And I have this moment, and it was really just a moment. And yet I got so much information. I, for a moment, was feeling like I'm in a deep, dark well. Um, I, I'm feeling scared, I'm feeling cold, I'm feeling fear, I'm feeling hopeless. It was a lot of pain was there. And I can't really see past the pain. I mean, I can only see a certain distance beyond my body. And I think of my mother, and I know she's dead. My mom killed herself that night, and it was a very shattering experience. Suicide is a nasty business for sure. And it took me a while to do any level of recovery from that. But as I did, I started wondering what happened to my mom that she could get into a place that was so painful and dark and hopeless. Um, what got her there? What got her there? So I started exploring that. And I talked with people, I did meditations, I did research, I did everything I could think of to try and figure out what happened to my mom. And I was meditating one day and I had this moment of intense clarity. Again, another one of those just a moments. And I was told we don't love ourselves.
Mm.
Actually, I was told I don't love myself. And I was like, yeah, probably right. And so I explored that. And happened because I know I came into this world loving myself. We all do. You can tell it in babies and small children. But what happened? Where did it go? And I explored that, and I eventually did enough background work and meditations and visualization and other support that got me to a place where I was just like, I shut myself off
Hmm.
from my own love for myself, and at the same time for my trust for myself, because you can't shut that level of an aspect off from you without leaving your trust behind as well. And so that changed everything for me as far as seeing what's going on with people and seeing what's went on with me and how I had shut myself off from my love. And that love for ourselves changes everything. It's very foundational for our choices and what we do for ourselves. And so that brought me all along through that. I ended up doing energy healing for myself and energy healing for my friends and people around me that were kind of going through the same thing. And that's really kind of how I got into the spiritual aspect and the energetic healing and work that I do. It's become my mission.
Wow. Helping people to find the love for themselves and the trust for themselves that they are not in touch with.
Yeah, yeah. And it's
Wow.
easier said than done, but it's very doable. We can definitely do
Okay. Yeah.
that.
Well, anybody who's been through some kind of life transforming event as you had, or even like what other kind of transformational events also bring people to that same place of losing a love for themselves, not trusting themselves, and feeling that way?
I think it can be anything. And I really think that what happens as we grow, the Ruiz, Damaga Ruiz says we're domesticated, right? We're socialized and put into a, a direction and shown what to do and how to do it. And we're often told, our little baby selves as children, that we're wrong and the adult is right.
Mm.
And I think we get a lot of that. We certainly get a lot of that. And I think at some point in time, we go, you know what, if the adults are right, then I must be wrong in how I feel about myself. And so I'm going to just set that part of me aside, and I'm going to listen to the adults. So we set that part of us aside. We shut it. I talk about doors all the time because I actually see them. And we shut this door, and then we turn around and we face the world and we say, okay, world, what have you got for me?
Mm.
And and so then we take all of our cues from the world. And that's significant because we're making a choice, we're making choices, and we're making decisions from this place of not love, because we no longer love ourselves, right? We set that behind the door. And
Mm.
so we are now working on a foundation of not love, and we can only give what we have. um, it, what we have inside us for ourselves is what we give out. It has to be that way. It's like having an apple and an orange. That apple will never give orange juice. It can't. It's not in it. It's just not in it. And so it will give everything that an apple has to give. Well, it's the same with us humans. If we have love for ourselves, and that's what's going to come out. If
Mm.
we don't have love for ourselves, if we have hate for ourselves, or we loathe ourselves, and unfortunately many of us do, then that's what comes out. And so we see a lot of this not love going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really a huge impetus for my work right now. And since we're beings of great love, which we truly are, and we learn not to love ourselves because we learn to put our love behind the door, and exchange our love for the world's opinions, we betray our own inner feelings. And we forget that we shut ourselves down. And so we're making all of these choices based on not love. And we're going against ourselves.
Mm.
We go against ourselves again and again and again. And so this whole process can lead to all kinds of things, the anxiety, just looking out to the world, for what our cues are. Depression, because we're making all of these decisions against us, against our very beings. And this leads to just kind of this role, I guess. We get into it's like a rock rolling downhill. It's going to gather all this stuff, and it creates an environment where we really don't love ourselves, and we have made all of these decisions against ourselves. And if we deny our own choices, deny who we really are, it keeps us stuck, and it puts us in these really difficult places.
Hmm. So these doors, I'm very interested in what's behind door number one. Reminds me of the dating game back in the day. Anyway, so I'm interested in these doors. So when you have a client, then you can see that there is a door that they have, and that they have put, obviously, I think I heard you say, their love behind the door. They've put their trust behind the door. What other things do we put behind the door? What other parts of ourselves do we shut off and not even allow ourselves to express?
I think that's probably as varied as we are.
Hmm.
There's it when we don't deal with something, when we push it down, we're not dealing with it. We're not expressing who we are. We're not honoring ourselves. We're not honoring our feelings. We're not honoring our body, because our body holds all of this.
Hmm.
And so what we push away, there's just everything. I know that there are multiple doors, multiple boxes, multiple all of this stuff that we shut off aspects of ourselves or pieces of ourselves. Some of them are little and not a big deal, and others are these huge things like our love. And yes, what occurs when I work with a client, and I don't know why this is, it just is, I actually see their door.
Okay.
So I can tell how far away from the door we are while I'm working with them. And I know when we've come to this door and we've come to this place where there's a choice to be made. Are you going to open the door or not? And it's a scary choice. It really is. We're scared to open that back up. Don't know why. I just know that we are. And so what we find, I guess we think we're going to find some wretch, inside. And we forget that we're beautiful, beautiful beings of love. And so it's really scary to open that door. And then these doors are different for everybody. I've seen doors that are just like the door to the room, that goes out into the hall. It's just a simple door. You open it, and there sits this aspect of yourself. And I've seen them ornate. I've seen them big. I've seen them small. The biggest one I ever saw, share this with you, like these, those old castle gates, like the drawbridges and all those things, that big, thick, heavy wood with those massive, what are they called? Hinges,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with the massive hinges, and, just huge, heavy. How do you open these things? And it was on the floor. So he had to open it up. So that
Wow.
was huge. It was a huge door, and it was a huge transformation for this person, because they had buried something so deep and so hard and shut it so much. Can you imagine the energy spent kind of keeping this door shut?
Now,
And
does a person know how do I want to word this? You did say we think we might find a wretch of a person behind that door, worse than we feel about ourselves at the moment, which is kind of hard to believe. But are people surprised when they open that door of what really it was that they put there?
I think so. I think there's, again, varying levels of surprises. Some people know. I tell them, I'm straight up front with them. Here's what we're going to go do.
Okay.
Again, when we get to that door, it's kind of can be a really scary place. The smaller the door, the more innocuous, the easier it is to open the sucker. And so, and so, tell me your question again, because I just lost my train of thought.
I love it. No, I was asking, Do we know what is
Oh,
behind
yes, do we know?
the door?
Pardon me. Um, I think we do know. I mean, we really know ourselves really deep down. I think the question becomes really, do we know it um, intellectually? Do we know it in our heart,
Mm,
in a place that we can access at that time? Because what we really do when we open this door to our love again is we really deepen the access we have to our whole being. So
yes.
you shut off a major aspect, you don't have access to that. And so we bring in a much deeper access for each individual to access for themselves. And then they can really become true to themselves, which I think is really
Yes.
important.
Absolutely.
You know?
So tell us how working with you, the different, I know I had a sneak peek. I know you have levels that you help people become undomesticated, uneducated. So, can you tell us about this beautiful process and where is the point of no return for this door opening?
That's a really great question. Well, first, um, my programs, the first is a 6-week challenge. I usually do some sort of a 6-week challenge. Sometimes I'll do a 5-day challenge before the 6-week challenge. Just depends on what I'm up to and what kind of mood I'm in. And the 6-week challenge is about raising your awareness about you.
Mm,
We really aren't aware of ourselves in so many ways. And so that starts the process of awareness. And from there, we go into a longer term type of a program. And it can vary. Again, depends on the person. We're all very, very different. And we talk about the doors. We go to we our goal is to get to the door and open it, and then to reintegrate that love for ourselves. When I say it's very foundational, I mean it's like we're standing on this foundation of not love for ourselves, and then we open this up and we find that there's another foundation of love, and so we can
mm,
get that foundation of love, but we don't just go, oh, here it is, and just pop right over there. We have decades of habit that makes it difficult to just step over into this place of love. And so there's a reintegration process that's very important. And so that's a journey, and it takes a little time. And from there, we learn about energy and energetics and how all of that works, law of attraction, and how that works, and why coming from a foundation of not love and coming from a foundation of love creates very, very different experiences in our lives. Um, and then we have mastery.
mm.
And so mastery goes to a much higher level of this. It takes it on down the road and and integrates a whole lot more of who you are and how you're meeting the world in this new foundational place that we're getting to. And there were 2 questions there, and I forgot the other one.
The second one was, I probably should have asked the second one first. When is the point of no
Oh,
return?
no return. I think it varies. Again, I try to be more concrete about some of these things. However, there is a point where you will not be able to turn back around and go the other direction, and it's sometime before the door.
Ah,
It usually happens sometimes before we get there. Sometimes it comes after, so again, it varies. However, there's going to be a point where you're going to turn around and you're going to look back and you're going to go, there ain't no way I'm going back that way.
because there's
And
too much pain back there.
there's too much pain, and opening ourselves up to our love again, we realize that there is a very different way of living in this world. And it opens up incredible opportunities. The clouds of our thinking just explode out, And so we get much more clear, we get much happier. The possibilities from a place of love are expansive. The possibilities from the place of not love are very constrictive and very confining. And so when we open up to that love, even when we know we're walking that direction, we're opening up to a whole different way of living in a whole different world.
Law of
Does that make
attraction.
sense?
Law
Yeah.
of attraction, right?
Law of attraction, sure, absolutely. And it absolutely matters what our foundation for inside ourselves and which one we're coming from is. Absolutely comes from that.
Wow. And this can be long and lasting.
Oh, it absolutely is. Like I said, when you turn around and you can't go back,
Mm-hmm.
it's like we're moving forward. This is very integrative, very foundational shifting stuff. And when you shift something in a foundation, it doesn't go back. You're making
Wow.
a baseline shift.
Okay.
And so when you actually make that shift, you start living it,
Mm.
which is what makes makes my work so beautiful, and why I just when you see somebody, when you see the understanding, when you see the light bulb go off and they're living a different life than they were before, and it's leading to happiness and it's leading to joy, and it's moving away from the anxiety of looking beyond who looking outside yourself and getting your cues from outside yourself, and it goes beyond it just leaves depression and despondency and upset, any manner of upset behind.
Hmm.
And so that's really beautiful. It's a lovely way to live.
Yeah. I want to circle back to something I took a note on. You had talked about your mother's journey, and I know, because I know you, that it's very near and dear to your heart, the suicide rate, the ages of people who are committing suicide. For one moment, could you just please share a little bit? Because there are probably some people that don't know what you know about this.
Okay. So suicide is a leading cause of death.
Hmm.
That means we are killing ourselves off in such a rate that has become a leading cause of death. There's something wrong with that, and there's something even more wrong when the second leading cause of death is suicide for ages 10 to 24.
That's just astounding.
These are our kids. These are our kids. And so they have suicide rates from age 5.
I can't even.
What is wrong? Okay, if our kids are killing themselves like this, there's
Mm-hmm.
something really, really wrong with the way we're raising them. Really wrong with. That's what happens when you push your love aside for yourself.
You
That's
teach
when
your
happens.
children to do the same.
Yeah, they follow our leads, right? They follow what we do, not what we say.
Right.
And
Right.
so we do the same thing. We domesticate our kids as well, and we do what we know, right?
Right.
And it's not even it doesn't even have to be something that is from a place, I mean, because we love our kids, right?
Absolutely love
So
them, but we only can give what we have.
exactly. And so when we are only giving from a place of this not love, it teaches our kids to do the same.
Yeah,
And they're like sponges, and they just pull it all up. We did too. We did the same thing.
we did.
We did the same thing, but we know better now. And so when we know better, we can start doing something about it. This is my mission. Suicide breaks my heart. My mom did it, and I didn't want to follow in her footsteps. And so that's why I healed myself.
Hmm.
And then I turn around and I'm looking, and people around me and loved ones that I have and friends that I have their loved ones that are killing themselves. This is just, it tears me up inside. It absolutely tears me up inside. and it's unnecessary, and it's just not, it's not work. We don't have to do this anymore. We don't have to live this way anymore. We
Yay.
know what we can do. And
So
that,
to work with you to get there,
mhm.
please tell us what how do you have private sessions? Do you have group sessions? Do you have offline stuff? Do you have online stuff? Like, please tell us products, everything.
It'd be my pleasure. I don't currently have any online stuff that's completely pre-recorded. Haven't gotten there yet. I absolutely do one-on-ones. I do groups that include a combination of group and one-on-one. You have to have one-on-one in there somewhere. And so there's kind of a combination there. And also with the like the 6 weeks challenges and things like that, that's almost completely group. And there are homework and other assignments and meditations or visualizations. I like to call them visualizations because meditation is kind of intimidating. And actually all we're doing is visualizing. And
That's true.
so, yeah. And so, yeah, so we have kind of a complete roundabout package other than the online self-study things right now. So yes, absolutely. And if you're interested in a discovery session with me, you can find me at Kelly's My Coach. It's KELLYSMYCOACH.com. And you can sign up for a discovery session and we can talk about whether we're a good fit for each other. And I will
Awesome.
tell you.
I love that. Can you give us a little takeaway? Can you tell us what your stop, challenge, choose
Oh,
technique is?
yeah, you like that stop, challenge, choose. I
Oh, so love it.
Yeah, Stop Challenge Choose is a fabulous way of starting to become aware of you and how you react to things. Now, some people can do it from their head. They know what they're thinking and they'll stop themselves from their head. I usually do it from my emotions. I can feel when I'm not feeling good. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you catch yourself either not thinking well, not thinking kind thoughts of yourself or something like that, or you're not feeling good, you feel that upset inside, then you can stop. We usually just gloss right over them. I'm asking you to stop,
Oh,
take a moment, and feel into that. Feel into what you're feeling. You have a reason for feeling the way you're feeling. And maybe at first you're not going to be able to just to figure that out, but keep working at it. You will. And you figure out, okay, what's causing me this issue, and I want you to challenge the way you're handling that, challenge your thought process, challenge what's going on, and then choose something else, because clearly what you've chosen makes you feel bad inside. And so I want you to feel good inside, so I want you to choose something that makes you feel a little bit better. And it doesn't
so,
have to be a big jump, but just something a little bit better.
so choose a
And
little less than not love, or a little more
a little
toward
more,
love.
a little more kindness to yourself, a
Yeah.
little more appreciation, a little more gratitude for who you are. And so you can, as you go through that stopping, when you find yourself not feeling good, challenging what's going on around that and choosing
Mm.
something else, you really start to open up an awareness of who you are and how you are handling things in your world. And that is a lovely awareness tool.
I love that tool. I had to have you share it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think we have come to the time when you're going to tell our beautiful audience your amazing gift.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to offer this to you guys. This is a visualization called the Council of Three. And it's fairly short. It's both in written form and in recorded form. So you can have both. You can download them both and use them freely. And what it will help you do is open again more aspects of yourself and look at you. It opens you up to your mind, your body, and your soul. And so that this meditation, again, it's a new awareness tool. It's opening you up to you. And you can find that at FromInsanityToLove.com.
I'm going to have all this information for everyone. They don't have to feverishly try to remember and write it down. It will be posted with all of your other contact information as well. Kelly, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for helping us become aware of the suicide rate. I had no idea. Not quite a pleasant subject. However, even if we come to work with you to become more aware of ourselves, and even if we help our children just be a little happier, a little less hard on themselves, I mean, it'll just make a world of difference. So I just thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming today and joining us and for sharing your insights and your wisdom. I treasure all the information that you have shared with us today.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you so much for the opportunity to share. It's really important to get this out and get the word out that we don't have to live this way. We don't. And we don't have to watch our kids and our family members and our friends and our community kill ourselves in such crazy, drastic numbers. I don't want that anymore. We instead of being in love with ourselves, we're not in love with ourselves. And that's why the world looks as it does. I choose love, and you can too. So I hope you go to From Insanity to Love.com and get the free gift. And we'll be in touch. We've got a 6 week starting later in October, and we'll be in touch about that.
Oh, perfect. Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And to everyone watching, I thank you for joining us for this episode of the Happiness Retreat. I hope you have gotten some motivation and inspiration and guidance and clarity in your own connection with your soul and becoming the master of your own energy. So until next time.